Okay, guys, welcome back to the vlog. Um, I'm doing this through my desktop display and recording studio. So, 15 kid friendly spooky Halloween movies, or whatever you want to call them. And then there's a few on here that you could potentially show your kids, but some of them are not really Halloween spooky related, but some of them are, and they could be a little bit too intense, and I'll go into those a little bit more. Alright, so first one up on the list is 2015's Goosebumps with Jack Black in it. This movie is very well key to how the books are, except in the sense like of their own storyline, if you want to call it that. I don't want to go into too much of what the movie's about, but you can look it up, and if it's something you feel like your kid would like to watch, by all means, go ahead and watch it. It's a good, cute, fun, adventurous movie. There's a few moments in the movie where it's like a little. There can be a little bit intense movie parts in the movie, but it's overall a decently clean movie for kids to watch. Number two, I don't know some of the characters, actors that played them, so I don't know specifically on top of my head who voices the characters in the movie. It's an animated movie. Number two on my list is the movie Paranorman in 2012, which, if you guys have not seen this one, I'll just give you a brief description. A young little kid can talk to ghosts, basically, in the movie, or the dead, or whatever. I don't know. I forget. Either zombies or the dead or monsters or something like that. But it's rated PG, so it's clean. It's not really. It can be a little spooky sometimes. So yeah. Um, Number three on my list is one that came out on Netflix, and this movie can be intense because it has that Hansel and Gretel style of a movie vibe to it. So if you've not seen Hansel and Gretel, by all means, give that movie a watch. Um, but this one is called Night Books, and it came out in 2021, and it's on Netflix. One of the child actors in the movie is very funny, and his brother and him do a lot of kid-related movies. And the last one, I can't remember if his brother did it or he did it, but it was the movie with now that's gonna haunt me. But the movie is called War with Grandpa. If you guys have not seen that movie is hilarious. But getting off track, not specifically a horror movie, but a spooky movie, whatever. But definitely Night Books. Definitely go ahead and check it out on Netflix. The next one is one that I recently just watched this year that I really enjoyed, and I thought it was very cute. Again, it has that spooky effect in it because there's that, what's it called, Frankenstein feel to it. Creatures being reborn from electricity. And this is 2012's Frankenweenie. This movie is very good. Disney, of course, and it's definitely one of those movies like it's like weird but fun and creepy at the same time. Um, it is definitely one that I will definitely keep on my list of rewatches every Halloween because it's definitely cute, but it also has some parts in it where it's like ooh, a little spooky at the end. So, and this one is definitely going to be on my list every year, and it's something that you guys should always have with your kids and watch with your kids. It is 1993's Hocus Pocus. Now, we just got the sequel last year. My take on the sequel, it was good. Of course, nothing outdoes the original, but Hocus Pocus is that one good movie that they decided to make that actually worked. They were unsure if it was gonna work, and it did work. If you guys don't know what Hocus Pocus is about, basically these teens on Halloween decide to resurrect uh, witches that were alive during the Salem witch trials, and they wreak amok, and that's a key word in the movie, amok, in in Salem, and it's Halloween, so Halloween, witches, teens, you get the gist of what could happen. Um, so that's definitely one to keep an eye out to watch with your kids. Number 6 on my list is actually another animated film, and it's actually probably the cleanest out of all the ones on here, probably, I would say. Yeah, I think this, well, there's one more that would be clean to be watched, like really clean. But this is Hotel Transylvania that came out in 2012 with Adam Sandler and Selena Gomez. This movie is very fun, cute, not really spooky, but like fun, and like it has the haunted feel to it because like all the characters in the movie are monsters except one. And I can't tell you the whole story, but it's definitely a worth to watch. There's some funny moments. There's some like, ooh, wow, that is fun. Like, but I would definitely give that a try. Number 7 is one that I watch a lot because I like the story. I like the kid that plays in the movie. I like the actor that plays in the movie as well. And I'm talking about 2018's The House with a Clock in Its Walls. Now, this movie has some parts in it where it will be a little intense. There's a scene in the movie that I didn't agree with, but they left it in anyway, even though it is technically a kids movie. Um, there's a scene in the movie where you see a portrayal of, um, I don't want to say the word, but it's an evil figure, basically, if you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. But the whole story is basically a little boy loses his parents, and he goes to live with his uncle, who uh, is a warlock. Um, and the kid learns how to be a warlock, and he accidentally awakens a warlock that was trying to doomsday Earth. There you go. There's the gist of the movie. I can't really tell you everything, but yeah, it's definitely a movie to go ahead and watch with your kids. Jack Black, of course, he's like that weird, funny kind of vibe to it, so definitely that kind of feel to it. Number 8 on my list is a little bit probably going to be the most goofiest out of all the ones on here, and that is 2002's Scooby Doo. Um, Matthew Lillard and all the other cast members in the movie, I mean, they do a very great job with this movie. This one is definitely the most funniest besides Hotel Transylvania because of Scooby Doo, of course. And there's some very goofy scenes where it's like, oh my, and a kid would probably laugh the whole time and just have a fun time because it's you get the gist. It's Scooby Doo. Scooby Doo's always funny. So, number 9 on my list. Now this one was debatable between this one and one that came out in 2003. I'm talking about Disney's redo of A Haunted Mansion in 2023. And they did one in 2003 with Eddie Murphy. I like both of them, but to this true storyline of Disney's like park ride and everything else, this 2023 is true to that story. And I prefer that one over Eddie Murphy in that sense, but I prefer Eddie Murphy's in the comical sense, if you get what I'm saying. I prefer Eddie Murphy's in the comical way, but I prefer the 2023 version in the storyline way. Um, so it kind of goes back and forth if you want to say it that way. Um, but it's definitely worth a watch. I bought it on 4K, so it's definitely like very cool when they do some of the fun ghost scenes and stuff like that, and it's definitely worth something to go and check out with your kids. Number 10 is no, actually, there's one on here that's even older than that. So we'll get to that. I'm reading it off my list on my phone, so I'm sorry if you keep see me look down. But number 10 on my list is 1989 Howie Mandel's Little Monsters. Now, this movie was definitely one of my top favorite movies as a kid because I love Howie Mandel in this movie. I love him. He is so goofy. He is so like I don't even know what the word is. He's just so they picked the perfect person for him. They picked him perfectly for this character. And it's so I can't tell you the whole story because it's so good and I just don't want to ruin it for anybody. But if you've seen it already, then you know what I'm talking about. But it's definitely a movie to go ahead and watch with your kids because it has some creepy parts in it, yes, and it's funny, it's goofy, it's just got a fun vibe to it. I mean, it's when you watched an 80s and 90s movie, it was very good. It had a good story. It kept to the story well. The actors did well in the movie. Ben Savage is in it, and so is Fred Savage. So both brothers are in the movie, and it's really cool to see both of them working together. So it's definitely worth to go ahead and check out with your kids. Sorry about if you can see the poster in the background right there. I do a Halloween thing every year, so right above me is Five Nights at Freddy's. Over there is Stranger Things, and on this wall closer to the window is a poster like this, but bigger, and has more characters on it. So, all right, moving on to number 11, 1998's Halloween Town. Now, this movie, I remember so much watching it every year. The first one and the second one, because that's all that came out at the time. And then a couple years later, the third movie came out, and then the fourth. The fourth movie was kind of the lowest point in the series because they switched actresses for the main character, and I didn't agree to that, but they did anyway, so I was like, whatever. But Halloween Town is just that really good, clean, like I'm saying, clean movie. And there's some creepy scenes in it where it's like, ooh, it might get a little too intense at some parts, but most of all, it's just clean Disney. It's made for the TV, so it's like literally came on TV when it came on. So it was definitely worth watch with your kids. Number 12 on my list. Now, this one was debatable because I was unsure how creepy it really was, but it does have some moments in it where it's like, that's considered creepy. Talking about 1995's Casper. Now, this one I think is the best rendition of Casper in any form besides the original series. Back, back, when did the original Casper come out? Like a 1960s, I think. 1960s, I think Casper came out. The original one, where it's the animated style. Yeah, this is probably the best live action Casper we could probably get, and I'm just gonna say that honestly. It's Bill Paxton. No, not Bill Paxton. What's his name? Now it's gonna haunt me. What's his name in the movie? The father. I'm gonna have to look it up. I really do. I'm so sorry, guys. I really thought I knew his name in the movie. Now it's gonna hurt me not knowing his name. Bill Pullman. I don't know why I was getting so hard. Trying to figure that out. Ugh, that hurts. Bill Pullman. He's so good in this movie. And then, I don't want to say too much about the movie, but you can already guess. Casper's a ghost, of course. His three uncles are in it. A father and his daughter move into the house that they reside in, and you kind of get the gist of what could happen from there. So, sorry if I seem a little bit not with it today. I'm not trying to like sound down, but I'm just I'm trying to make this a little bit more like a, not really like a detailed video like happy vlog, but I'm just trying to make it like more like a simple, mellow kind of vlog. But moving on from there, number 13 on my list. This one I should have put at number 14 because it is my least liked movie on this list, but it is a more kid friendly and very creepy vibe story to it. It is 2006 Monster House. This movie I just didn't care for as much because I don't know, I just something about it just didn't feel like, to me, I just didn't care for it as much. The characters I just didn't like as much. They were just too pushy with their characters to me sometimes, and I just didn't care for it. But I mean, it is a good kids movie if it's something you want to show to your kids, definitely. All right. You see, I didn't do too much on that because I just don't care for it as much. Number 14 is the oldest on the actual main list. And this one is probably the most classic out of all of these movies on this list, because it is the best, in my opinion, in the classical sense, but it's also not, it is creepy and it's not creepy. And I can't remember, yeah, it was rated PG, but I think it should have been rated PG-13 because of some of the scenes in the movie. And there's some scenes in the movie that are very questionable for kids to see, but it is still technically a kids related movie that they say on the internet. And I'm talking about 1984's Ghostbusters. Now, you've probably already shown this to your kids, and that's totally fine. I'm talking about the parents that are still not, like, I'm talking about parents right now that have the kids that are still like young toddler age, that are coming up to that watching movie and sitting still stage where they can enjoy the movie and understand what's going on in the movie. This movie I think would be okay up to a certain degree, because there is some scenes in the movie that are questionable for kids to see, but it's not like graphically done. But it is a very fun kid-like movie, I would say that. And it is spooky in some parts. Spooky ghost. Yeah. This one, my last one on the main list, I will say is probably my least liked besides Monster House. And I understand where everyone's love for this movie can be seen from. I just did not care for it as much. I'm sorry. I've watched it for the first time and I just don't care for it as much as everybody else likes it. And I'm talking about Disney. Is it Disney's? Does Disney own that? I think they do. 1993. The Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm just going to take a pause with effect. Because I already know there's going to be so many comments from that of why I hate it the most. I don't like the movie because I feel like it was too pushy in the sense of like trying to make it work well. And I understand where Disney and they all tried to go with the movie, but it just isn't my favorite style of a movie for me. The music doesn't bother me. The music is fine. I just don't like the I don't know. It's just not my favorite kind of movie. It's just, I don't know. I just don't like it as much. To me, I just don't. I mean, I will watch it again, but it's not something I'm just gonna go and be like, oh yeah, that definitely needs to be something I watch every month. No, maybe once in a blue moon while I pop it in and be like, okay, yeah, it's time for it to watch it again. Maybe my mind will change from here, but it's just not my movie. It's just not one that I really particularly like. I know I'm gonna get backlash from that, and I'm sorry, but it's just not my favorite. So that completes the main list. Some of them, there's 5 movies that I almost put on here. One of them wasn't going to be on here because I'm not sure if it's rated PG or PG-13, and there's several cuss words in the movie, and I just did not want to put that on there just because I knew I was going to get backlash, just like I'm going to for Nightmare Before Christmas. But the first one that almost made it, and it would have been the oldest out of all of them, but it's the most graphical in any of these movies, was 1975's Jaws. Now, Jaws is not a Halloween movie, but it is a spookier horror style of a movie, but it is rated PG. Now, for me, I don't think it should have been rated PG. It should have been rated PG-13, maybe, if that. Just because there's some scenes where it's like, especially when the little boy gets killed in one part. Now, if you've already seen the movie, and I'm sure, but your kids haven't. But if you have not, spoiler alert, a kid dies in the movie. You don't really see it, but you do and you don't. You see parts and glimpses of what's going on, and you get the gist that something is killing the little boy. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. There's a shark in the movie, of course. Jaws. What else would it be about? But yeah, Jaws. It's the most probably intense in these movies, so I will leave it that. I don't really consider it a spooky. I consider it like horror, science-y, monster killer movie, I guess you want to call it that. So, yeah. Number... What would have also been on the list, and this one kind of hurts because I kind of wish I replaced it with The Nightmare Before Christmas, but I didn't, was 1985's The Goonies. It does have some spooky effect to it, and it does have some, like, creepy vibes to it in the movie. Now, this has the most, what's the word I'm looking for, classical feel to it, because it has so many awesome actors in the movie. So many. Sean Astin. I'm talking about one of the best adult actors nowadays, and that is Josh Brolin. He is one of the better ones to me because he is so simple and, just awesome. Yeah, there's more actors that grew up that definitely have grown from this movie, and I agree that they are probably the best. But moving on, the other one that would have made it would have been 1984's Gremlins. And the last 3 I'm just going to skim through. Gremlins is creepy, science-y, so you get the gist. Another one I hate for not putting it on there, but I think it's the most intense, creepy, rated PG movie I've ever seen in my entire life, and that is Coraline. And that's the reason why I didn't put it on there, because I think it's too intense. Too intense. For a 2009 movie, for what I've seen over the years, this is probably the most intense movie. And it's just, I don't know. It's just too intense. My next one would have been 1988's Beetlejuice. I don't remember if it was PG or PG-13. But there's some, that's the one that had cuss words in it and stuff like that. So, it was definitely a up in the air situation. So, I was unsure if I was going to put it on there or not. So, that is my 15 kid-friendly spooky movies that you can show to your kids that are good enough to show. Now, um, that's all I have for today's vlog. I hope everyone has a good rest of the weekend, even though we only got today to enjoy. Um, Today is not particularly a day I particularly enjoy because it's a day that I don't particularly want to remember, but I do anyway. It's not something I particularly want to think about much, but I won't say too much about why today isn't, just because I like to keep that to me. But that's kind of the other reason why I'm just not in the mood for anything right now. Just kind of just gonna chill and watch TV most of the day and just chill. But hope everyone has a good start to their work weeks and school weeks, and I hope everyone has a good rest of the weekend. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next vlog, which I'm hoping will be during the week this week when I'm a little bit more open to making another vlog, when I'm not in my gloomy moment. Yesterday I was happy, today I'm gloomy. It's just today is not a particularly good day for me. So, I hope everyone has a good holiday for Halloween. Spooky, spooky, spooky. I know I definitely will because I'm off work to enjoy Halloween. So, thank you guys so much for your support. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment down below what you think of my list. And if there's anything else on there you guys think I should have added, let me know. Leave a comment down below. If not, if you think the list was good enough, thank you. I hope you guys go around, show your kids these movies, and hopefully they enjoy them just as much as anybody else would. Thank you guys so much, and don't forget,